What's going on, everyone? Badger here. Should have like and sub, and let's get into it. Gary is back. Gary is back with a video about the Acolyte, because the only videos everyone seems to be making are meme videos, just making fun of and pointing out the extreme reaction, including for the first time the straight up ratioing of the Acolyte and Star Wars trailers. So I can only imagine what Gary's going to talk about. It's not good news on any level for Disney Star Wars. So let's enjoy the memeing, because the Schadenfreude at this point is all we have left. We've well past the I told you so's. We tried to stop it, but here we are at the reckoning. Let's go.
You were the chosen one.
You know, it's hard for people to realize, and I'm not supposed to say this, and I wasn't supposed to say it then, but no.
I would say yes. I did not expect Bob to side with Disney. Or rather, I didn't even necessarily need to pick a side. He's called Disney white slavers before and said he regrets what he's. Anyway, the point is, man, him siding with Disney and saying, it's not up to amateurs to make magic or some asinine thing that only echoes the Disney propaganda that somehow the Treon Group and their $3.5 billion worth of collected investments are all amateurs and they don't know what they're doing. Okay, but yeah, it certainly doesn't help in this whole thing.
It was said that you would destroy this Sith, not join them.
No.
George is old.
Nerdrotic.com.
Loses money.
After the resounding lack of success of the
Shout out to Gary for hitting 1 million, and shout out to everyone who subbed. I saw some of you in this video say you were in my last reaction to Gary saying you were going to go sub to him. So thank you to those people. And to the people that said they were already subbed to Gary and they enjoyed my reactions. Well, that's just fine then. Thank you too.
female-centric Ahsoka in 2023, Disney Star Wars decided to start 2024 with this.
And we're in 2024 now, and I think it's about time that we had a woman.
You boys better gird your loins, because I'm coming for you. I'm going to make each and every one of you uncomfortable. I know I said this under a different context, but it seems anytime I talk about Star Wars, I can't help but making people uncomfortable. It's about a woman.
Come forward to shape the story in a galaxy far, far away.
Boy, here we go again. Yeah, I'm out.
That was the director of the much unanticipated Rey film, Charmin Obaid-Chinoy, when 2024 was just hours old. Never mind the fact that she is not the first woman to shape Star Wars. And
by a long shot, all the way down to a woman being one of the key editors of the original Star Wars, George Lucas's wife.
Certainly not the first activist woman to shape Star Wars.
My body of
ex-wife.
Work over the last 20 years has been guided by my activism, and every single piece of work that I've ever created has a piece of activism in it. It could be very overt or it could be covert, but it is there.
Yeah, so let's give her let's take an already a character that you pissed everyone off by having her usurp the Skywalker name, Rey Palpatine, because she is a Palpatine. I know we're joking, but even not being hyperbolic, she is a Palpatine. You take that character that no one wanted and you bring her back, and do you try your best to redeem her? Do you try your best to get a director that understands the alienation of the fans and really somehow, even though they're forced to do this, nope, you bring in an effing activist who, by your own words, and whether you take her from a clip 8 years ago talking at a women's conference in context of women's abuse, which obviously no one is supporting, and I'm totally for her activism in that regard, when you take it and you insert it into Star Wars, which you've already decimated, you filled it, you literally split everyone right down the middle multiple times, first with The Last Jedi, then with the Gina Carano politics, where you did what you did to her, but you let Pablo call half of America Yahtzees in Civil War, the losers from the Civil War. Yeah. Not a good look. My point is that a lot of channels are indeed going to be, and you're going to hear a lot of me in the future. I cannot wait to hear. Okay, look at all this time already. We must get on.
That is why you fail.
But not to worry, Debbie Downer, because Lucasfilm has figured it out. They've cracked the code. They've pounded the analytics, and they're going to turn things around by shaping.
He said analytics.
Star Wars with a female activist showrunner who also happens to be the former personal assistant of Harvey Weinstein. There I go, getting all negative again. Like I said,
I'm sure she knew nothing. Sure, she knew nothing.
And this one's going to be completely different. It's going to be female-centric with diversity and inclusion. That's right. The long-awaited, much-anticipated Acolyte trailer dropped a couple of days ago, described by showrunner Leslie Headland as
Frozen meets Kill Bill. I'm curious what that means. Can we elaborate?
Are we getting a musical?
You're not getting a musical, although that was Kathy's first question when I pitched it to her. She was like, "So a musical with a snowman?" I was like, no.
No, because the love between the two sisters in Frozen was the true love. And I'm gonna have two sisters in this one. One Jedi, one a Sith, but the true love will save them. And there might be copious amounts of scissoring and incestuous thoughts, but that's just what we do.
Stupid or something.
So much of it was about, the kind of villainess actually be a powerful, misunderstood woman. It was hitting me on such a deep level and yet servicing the genre.
I mean, why not Will and Grace meets RoboCop, or Modern Family meets Saw, or Sesame Street meets Scared Straight? I don't know.
I have AIDS, bird. Poor Snuff. If you've never seen that bit, look that one up.
Oh, maybe I'm crazy to suggest that Disney might want to try Star Wars meets Star Wars, but we know they can't do that. I digress. Anyway, with the Acolyte trailer, Disney Star Wars has managed to do the unthinkable, the unimaginable. They've brought us all together again, just not in the way they intended, because aside from a few clapping seals, everyone hates it. As far as I know, this is the first
that ratio has increased. It's not looking good.
Disney Star Wars project to be ratioed on YouTube, and that's certainly going to get worse as time goes on, and after watching it, I understand why.
Close your eyes. Your eyes can deceive you. We must not trust them.
Coincidentally, that's exactly what Leslie Headland said to all of Harvey Weinstein's clients before leading them into his office.
Tell me what comes into your mind.
I see diversity.
I'm sorry if I step on his joke, but I hope he makes it that the homeboy does not have any eyelids, and someone pointed out, and I can't see it now. Can't unsee it, rather.
I see inclusion. I see equity.
And lesbians in space.
Because Trinity from the Matrix. So everything she is in, she has to be a martial arts master.
Oh, and it doesn't end there, although I wish it did, because apparently Lucasfilm hasn't leaned into the South Park meme enough.
Put a chick in it, make her gay. Put a chick in it, make her name it gay. Put a chick in it, make her gay. Put a chick in the linguine and make her gay.
But it's time for a movie to be shaped by women. After this is already to come out.
I want it lame!
It doesn't make sense.
It really doesn't, yet it does, because this is Disney Star Wars, son.
What happened?
Well, Perry, George Lucas's timeless story was subverted and destroyed by a bunch of ideological, effeminate men and women. Oh, wait, that's not you, Perry? My bad. Anyway, apparently we've gotten it all wrong, because Star Wars is not about good or bad.
The best parts about Star Wars is there is no good or evil.
Lies!
Depends on what side you're standing on, truly. You know what I mean?
Through the ages, I've seen evil take many forms.
To be fair to Harvey Weinstein's former personal assistant, Leslie Headland, it's like the old saying goes. I mean, right after look the other way when it comes to her. Write what you know.
This isn't about good or bad. This is about power and who is allowed to use.
Yes, Queen, yes. Again, as I point out every time when you see her, that was Pacey's ex. He's ex now. Yeah, he was married to her.
And
Joshua Jackson.
And Harvey Weinstein's former personal assistant would probably know a thing or two about that. And as far as the Acolyte trailer telling you what this series is about, I have no idea, other than bland, diverse actors in bland robes to bland music.
This one is going to be trying to unalive a bunch of different Jedi because her sister got taken from her at birth by the Jedi to be trained. And so she's trained by a Sith to go get revenge, to either rescue her sister. It probably seems like she's going to end up, but then love will overcome. And that's their little queer love analogy thing. I don't know.
In another bland D+ series from a showrunner who was asked what her favorite Star Wars was and couldn't answer the question.
So when people are like, what's your favorite Star Wars movie? I'm like, there is no Star Wars movie. There is only Star Wars.
The politically correct answer will always be just say The Empire Strikes Back. Just say The Empire Strikes Back. It's not fucking hard. You want to get really OG? Just say the first one. Just say A New Hope. Just say Episode 4. Pick any of those. Me personally, without any prejudice, yes, Empire Strikes Back is my technical favorite. But if you ask me, like, which one would I want to watch right now and time again, if given choice, Episode 3. Episode 3. Sorry, it's got just some of the most pivotal moments. But like, I fully contend that Empire Strikes Back is the best technical and most watchable of all the Star Wars. If you were putting it in for, you had to pick one, but like, Star Wars Episode 2 and Episode 3, or rather Episode Episode 5 and Episode 3 are like neck and neck for me. Really, Revenge of the Sith, it's a banger. It's a banger.
Bro, you reek.
Oh,
you smell like you've been marinated in
Normally
wet
I would
dog.
watch this, but just for the reaction, we're skipping.
And if the Acolyte trailer,
apparently the creator only gets the money from the ad if you watch it, and if you skip it, they don't. So for creators like Gary and others, and like Tyrone Magnus and Critical Drinker, if they pop up, I watch them. I don't know if anyone else does that, and I don't. If that's not true, let me know so I can stop doing that and start skipping them again. But if he only gets it when we're watching it, then I watch it. And as Jeremy says, respect the grift, which this counts. Ad reads too. If he did an ad read, I would watch it. I wouldn't skip through it.
Trailer wasn't bad enough. The remaining Star Wars fans got another kick in the balls on the very same day. You may or may not be aware there's a little proxy battle going on over at Disney between Nelson Peltz and Bob Iger. And the weatherman Bob Iger seems to be a bit panicked about the whole thing, and he's calling in all the big guns, which includes one disappointing yet unsurprising name.
Everything in your body says don't. You can't. And these are my kids.
All those Star Wars films.
All the Star Wars films.
They were your kids.
Yeah, well, they are, right. You know,
and you sold them.
I sold them to the white slavers that take these things and
okay, but I mean,
despite all of his,
that was a sadness laugh. That wasn't an actual funny. Yeah, that's I know. Look, I was a prequel. If I was 13, I loved the prequel films. I didn't have that visceral reaction. I also wasn't expecting to see Han, Luke, and Leia again. I knew it was something different. I didn't think it was boring. I was a kid. I didn't think it was boring. So I don't know. No, Jar Jar is not nearly as offensive to me as it is to a Gary. I understand why, and they've certainly aged better. They've had a glow up that the sequel trilogies will never have. That's for sure. But yeah, I wish George, because of that visceral reaction, and I wish he had not. I wish he had not sold.
Mumbling and grumbling on how Disney has treated his children. In the end, George Lucas sided with the white slavers. From The Hollywood Reporter, George Lucas backs Disney and Bob Iger in proxy fight. Creating magic is not for amateurs. Yet Disney has proven that you can pay people and they can still be worse than amateurs. Creating magic is really not for amateurs. When I sold Lucasfilm just over a decade ago, I was delighted to become a Disney shareholder because of my long-term admiration for the iconic brand.
And the irony, of course, is that we found out because of Film Threat and other inclusion leaks that the people behind the scenes and below the line, all of them, they're all super amateur, literally from Tumblr and onward. It's bad.
Bob Iger's leadership, Lucas said in a statement Tuesday. When Bob recently returned to the company during a difficult time, I was relieved. No one knows Disney better. I remain a significant shareholder because I have full faith and confidence in the power of Disney and Bob's track record of driving my beloved Star Wars right off a cliff. Driving long-term value. I have voted all of my shares for Disney's 12 directors and urge other shareholders to do the same. George Lucas was never going to side with Nelson Peltz, who was backed by Ike Perlmutter. And it was clearly a business and a political decision. Listen, I'm not going to judge George for wanting to live out his life in peace. He's earned it. He's a legend. And the only thing he's really responsible for is selling Star Wars to Disney. And quite frankly, we all thought that was a good idea at the time. And little did we...
because as I always point out, at the time, Disney was making successful Marvel movies that, while not 100% obviously faithful to the comics, it seemed at least some bones of a skeletal structure of the comics. So again, I naively thought, oh, they'll do the same thing. Yes. Okay. They're telling us that all the expanded universe is Legends now. That's a hard pill to swallow. And people like Ryan from RK Outpost, we lost them almost immediately. And they never gave anything a chance. I was one of those people that was like, all right, I think maybe they'll be able to adapt. And we were wrong. And Kathleen said that dumb shit about, oh, it's not like we have books. Meanwhile, we had hundreds, 30,000 years worth of history inside the Star Wars universe. And we got what we got. So I don't blame George, but like many things, much like Han, Luke, and Leia never showing up together in a scene, I wish things were different.
Was a deal with the devil and hiring Kathleen Kennedy, but the rest of this lays right at the feet of Bob Iger, Kathleen Kennedy, and the rest of the insane asylum that's Lucasfilm. Disney Star Wars is a zombie franchise. It's a corpse that keeps getting defiled, and every time they trot it out, it rots the entire legacy. The good news is every time Disney releases some new Disney Star Wars, there's more people coming to our side, and it's bringing the world together to roast the hell out of it. Because the comments section on the Acolyte trailer is glorious. After watching this, I no longer fault Anakin for what he did. Nobody criticizes Jar Jar Binks ever again, and I have to agree with that. I love this one. Oh my God, it's so wonderful and diverse. My wife's boyfriend will love it. I love the part when the Sith said, it's acolyting time, then slashed through 20 younglings. I love the part where he said, so, that's it, huh? We're some type of acolyte. Close your eyes. What do you see? I see someone that could have alerted the world to what Harvey was doing, but didn't.
This is the best trend. I forgot what the exact thing is. I think it might have been Ghostbusters or whatever. One of the movies where they were censoring anyone that was, or maybe it was Lord of the Rings. They were censoring anyone that was, I think it was Lord of the Rings. Anyone that commented negatively, they were censoring or removing. And so everyone started doing these comments that were very obviously fake comments, like when Superman redeemed his father at the end of Return of the Jedi, things like that.
Okay, the main question is, does anyone in this show survive after being stabbed with a lightsaber? I think that's a good question,
Shout out,
and the
Reva.
answer is probably yes. Close your eyes. What do you see? I see Zendaya and sand. Lots of sand. It's rough and coarse, and it gets everywhere. This isn't about good or evil. It's about the message and who gets to use it. And then there's the poster with all of its subtle imagery. I mean, what's the first thing you...
I made a period blood joke. I did. I'm not an evolved human. I'm sorry. I apologize. I lie. I don't.
You think of when you see this, especially when it's connected to Disney and Lucasfilm.
Sure. Oh, yeah.
Admittedly, I still get a little surprised at Disney Star Wars' commitment to failure. It is absolute. And breaking news, Star Wars is dead. Still. It died in October of 2012 when George sold it to Disney, although most of us didn't know it yet. It died for me personally after I watched The Last Jedi the one and only time. And what I said back then remains true. You can't put the milk back in the tin.
So
I knew
painful.
it was over when I saw Disney treat Luke Skywalker about as well as Mark Hamill has treated his granddaughter. The good news is, while we wait for Disney to finally hit rock bottom, is we can all come together and point and laugh, because everyone hates.
Mark Hamill and his wife tried to convince one of their sons' female other who was pregnant with their grandchild to get a what they pay to get to do to the thing that what Baby had in Dirty Dancing, get what her dad, or not Baby, the chick, you know what I'm talking about. He's not a good person, and Gary reminds him often of it.
It's the Acolyte, and that's a good thing. If you like what you heard, please like, share, and subscribe. If you didn't,
It rhymes with extortion.
You heard, I thank you for listening this long. I will see you in the next video.
Nerdrotic.com. Please subscribe.
Yeah. I don't think anyone is excited for that, but I will be excited for the continued memes. Let me know what you think of this. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Did you stay at the end? Did you? If you did, I don't know what's wrong with you, but thank you. The algorithm loves you, and I love you. And
well, bye.